towards the sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat.
G'day everybody, it's Seano again, and we are back. Yes, we are back. We were sitting around not doing much, so we thought we'd do a pre-Thursday night live stream, pre-Thursday night game. We'll wait for the teams to come out for the rest of the week, see who's out there in the community who wants a little bit of a chat. You want to have a chat about your team, tell me who your potential trades are, what your plan is for the rest of the buys, who you think's going to win, just even if you just want a bit of a chat. Come along and say hi. We're going to have a bit of fun, and yeah, we'll wait for those teams to come out, and we'll wait for the game to come on, and once the game comes on, we'll jump off. So I hope everyone's having a awesome Thursday. Back to work for me tomorrow, so got to make the most of it, and yeah, we're going to enjoy. And so having a quick look at my team, if you just like, hey Sean, what's your final trades? I think I'm pretty much 100% set on 2. Huswaite out for Clark, Cardwell in for Marrick. That's going to be the 2. We were talking about doing the crazy Doherty, like Ashcroft out for Doherty, but at the end of the day, I figure Doherty is so cheap that it's not going to kill me to wait one more week. Just one more week, have a look, see if he holds that role. If he comes out, smashes 120 or something, he's still only going to go up about 25 grand or something. I think at the moment he's 380, 386. So, you know, at worst, he's, even if he absolutely smashes it, he might be just over 400k, which is still super cheap. And so I've come to my conclusions that Cardwell is a very good pick. We've been looking at his stats. If you were umming and ahhing whether you think Cardwell's a good pick, is he a top 8 midfielder? Probably not, but he's not far off. On his, like, if we have a look at his stats while we're waiting for people to come along and say hi. So here I've highlighted the ones where he's played more than 75%, or more than 63% CBAs. So where he's played the inside midfielder. And so this year, they played him in that position the first 3 games. Then he had a calf or a hamstring. I'm not too sure which one it was. Then they played him a little bit less time on ground and a little less centre bounces, which makes sense, right? Come back from injury, ease the guy into it. You don't want him to get injured again. Maybe some other coaches should take some lessons out of that. And then the last 2 weeks, he's been back to how he was at the beginning of the season and how he was at earlier on during the year, last year. So I went and highlighted all the ones where he's got more than 63% CBAs, and if you do that, he averages 117 Supercoach points. Now, I don't know about you, but I would take 117 Supercoach points from a 440k player every day of the week, especially with Merritt playing a little bit more halfback last week and potentially in the future. Looks like he is the number 1 man. He was in the team's name last week, named as a follower. So, you know, that means he's going to be on the ball if they stick to that. And, you know, Eston aren't Geelong or somebody. They seem to actually play the position that they put out the teams, they seem to generally put that person in position. I guess maybe not in Zach Merritt's case, as I guess he was named as a centre last week. But anyway, looking at those facts, for 440, can average you 117. So I think he's a very good pick. I mean, obviously you have to be a little bit aware of that round 16 bye. I am struggling a little bit for the bye, so I don't love it for my particular team, but I just need the value, and a value player that can average me 115 for 440, I pretty much just have to take that. And then when the time comes, Ashcroft will go. It'll still leave me, depending on what rookies I have playing. If the rookies, all I've got now, continue to play, great. I should make 18 pretty easy. If all these rookies, like these Richmond boys, stop playing, we could have a bit of trouble. As for rookies, a lot of us are doing it really rough. I'm managing to get a few more playing rookies out there, not they're scoring much, but now we've got, get rid of the round, so we've got Carroll and Clark both making money, Gray's making money, Sard's dead rookie, Gross is a dead rookie, Boyd's a dead rookie, but then we got Sims and Kako, well, making money. It's a bit of a, Kako hopefully can make money on his 32 break even, let's face it, hopefully he can make some money. So yeah, so we've got some cash gen going on. Considering there's a lot of talk about Pedlar this week. So since last time we talked in the trade video and my live video yesterday, go back and check those ones out if you would like. But I've been listening to all the other content creators. I do like to get on there and see their other people's opinions and see what they think. Actually, it's about 50-50. 50% people think Pedlar's going to be fine, and 50% of people think that Pedlar's a bit of a risk within job security wise. So I think with the lack of rookies, I'm not going to go there only because I can't make any money. So if I had maybe if I went Kako down to Pedlar, I would make 60k. And so that could be an option, and then I could use that 60k in the future. But at the moment, Kako is providing me a nice little DPP option, and he might have a spike game. We've been saying that since we first got him in the team, but hopefully sooner or later he kicks a couple of goals in a match and gets a 70 or an 80, and at least goes up to like 250, 280, if we're lucky. And in the meantime, with the Gross not playing, he provides a good way to loophole to get the best score possible on the field. My loopholes this week, we got Sims, who Richmond play a little bit early. If Sims smashes it, we'll either put Simpson on, or we can put Gross on, and we can move Kako up there, and then we can probably try the same thing with Kako, I think. When is that game this week? That game is, we'll just do this. So Essendon don't play to second last, so that's good. So we can do that. If Gross, we just move Simpson. I assume Sims is probably going to outscore Kako. So we'll move Simpson on, and then we'll move Kako up there, and we'll have a second shot with Kako. Trying to get a decent score. Does he play? When's Melbourne? And Melbourne plays in the last game, so that's perfect. So, if we do that, we've got two shots. With potential to move him on or one of them on. Yep, I think that's going to be the best for me. In the back line, we have another option to, if Gray goes very well, fantastic, we'll probably drop Carroll and leave Clark on the field, bring Sinclair on for Carroll, and get Gray's score. So we got, not only do we have pretty much a full team, except for, we have a full team playing. and we've got 2 options at loopholes. So that's going to give me the best chance to possibly win my league, which, as we've been talking about, is the important thing to me at the moment. And yeah, we're up against my friend Matt this week. Matt with the Turley's Terrors. And once he does his team, once it'll be a very even match. We have a lot of different unique players. So he's still got quite a few rookies, but I can see him doing some trades. He's still got Cleary in his team, which he's bound to trade. So it's going to be a coin flip, really, whether I win my league or not this week. It's just going to depend on who goes well, who he trades in. Yeah, and then we've pretty much got a similar amount of people, off the field. He's got Bolton, Brayshaw, and Marshall, and I've got Brayshaw, Marshall, and Sinclair as our premiums off the field. So same amount of premiums off. Probably got the same amount of premiums on as well. He's got some interesting rookies. I've got some interesting rookies. Like he's still got Pryor, who I could see him selling this week. He's got Buse. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Pryor down to Clark when looking at his team, or Buse down to Clark. I think Buse has only got a 34 break even, where Pryor has a 63. So maybe he goes Pryor down to Clark, swaps an Essendon for an Essendon, so it doesn't affect his round 16 bye too much. He's still got Smith also who's negative 26. Oh, no one's talking about him. 11, 69, 46 at 149k. Backline, Richmond. Here he was sub, right? Here he was the sub. No one's really talking about him. I guess because we've got Clark in the back line. And the other one, we're all talking about Pedler, but no one's talking about Caleb Smith at 150. Could be an interesting pick. Let's see, make sure he was actually a sub for those games. Good old Matty. He's always got some good choices. Mr. Matt. Caleb, K-A-L-E-V, was that how he spelt it? Stupid thing. Caleb Smith. He was the subs in round 2. In round 3 he was injured, and he was also the sub in round 10. Hasn't been the sub for the last couple of weeks. So 2, 3 and 10, injured in 3. Injured in 3 when he got 23 and was subbed out. Sub in 2 and sub in 10. So he wasn't the sub in 4 when he got 22 points. Did he play round 4? He played round 4. Did he play? Two, 3, 4. Richmond. Doesn't say he was the sub in that game. Time on ground 84% for a score of 22. Well, that's not great. That's a bit of a worry. That's what would be worrying you. That and the fact he has been the sub, but he hasn't been the sub for the last 2 weeks. So, maybe there's a chance there. Who's been the Richmond sub the last couple of weeks? Let's have a look. Richmond. McIntosh was started the sub, and they subbed out Luke Trainer. Let's have a look. Smith, 13 possessions, 10 kicks, 5 marks, 2 tackles, rotating in defence, 92% efficiency, 75% on time on ground. He got 5 marks, 2 tackles. I mean, it's not a lot of possessions for someone in the back line there, but it seems reasonable. I mean, he seems reasonable. If you needed 2 backmen this week, obviously Clark is your number one. You're going to go Clark, he's just cheaper. But if you needed another backman, I mean, I guess that's reasonable. Funny enough, I hadn't heard any of the other content creators mention him, which, you know, considering his break even of negative 26, what happens if he gets a 50? 34, he goes up 26k. If he gets a 50, he goes up around 30k. So, I mean, that might be reasonable. Obviously, you'd have to worry about the sub. How long is Camden McIntosh going to be the start as a sub for? Maybe he's just coming back from injury and he'll get a full game this week and one of those younger boys might be the sub. Or are they going to try and use him as a super sub? I'd assume he's in the best 22, Cameron McIntosh. You know, on years past he would be. So, who else have you got, Matty? Who else have you got? So that's an interesting rookie he's going to play. He's got Cleary that... So, I wouldn't be surprised if his trades are something like Pryor down to Clark, and then has to get rid of Cleary, and Cleary to whoever, or Cleary off for Pedlar maybe, and then somebody else up. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes 2 down, 1 up. If I had his team, that's definitely what I'd be thinking of. So he's got a few different pods. He's got Dan Houston in his team. He's got Tork Miller. He's got Isaac Heaney. He's got the luggage. And he's got Dunks. So, you know, his team looks... And he's also, if we come down here, he's got Ed Richards. He's got the Fridge. And he's got Simpkin. So his team is quite different to mine. So... You know, it's going to be a bit of a luck thing. Whoever's lucky enough on the day is going to win. Hopefully it's me, because I really would like to hold my position. So I'm in 4th at the moment, but if I drop, I'm probably going to drop down to 7th at least. He's in 7th, so... If he wins and I don't win, he's going to move up to the same score as I am. I have a better percentage than him, so he's really going to have to flog me, which I won't. I'll touch wood and say it's probably not going to happen. If he's going to beat me, it's probably going to be in a close one. We thought that last week though as well, even though we did win our match last week, but we had a terrible score. We would have lost to most other people in my league. We were just lucky that we were playing a guy whose team was a bit down in the dumps, and we managed to win. So he could potentially move up to right behind me, so we could be in... Yep, so if he wins as well, I'll probably drop down to 7th if I lose. So still in the top 8, but we want to try and keep that top 4 position. So hopefully the trades this week get it done. Maybe he goes up to Cadwell as well. I think he's got quite a few round 16 players. I've been unlucky with my league matches through the buys. If we look at my my spreadsheet, which I updated yesterday, so I'm sorry about how bright this is. I know it's bright. This week we have the same amount of primos off. If he could sell Reed, but he probably won't sell Reed because Reed's still got money to make. I assume that he's not going to buy in a person off this buy. So we're pretty much even Stevens at 0. This one next week, I'm going to have one more premium off than my opponent, and he's also got Bice. So he can potentially make a trade to get another premium there. And then the week after, I've got one more premium playing than my opponent, but that might change before that time comes. And in the last round, it's even. We've got that even. So red for when they've got more, when I've got less primos. Well, I've got more primos out than they do. Green is when my opponent has more primos out, and the orange is when it's going to be even. I think this is just going to be even. I think this one actually should be orange for today. And I don't think he's going to sell Reed. I don't think he's going to sell Reed. So we got a match where it's even Stevens. A match that's pretty close. There's only one player's in there. And a match where I might be a bit of ahead. And another match where it's even Stevens. So if we can win 2 or 3 out of the next 4, we'll probably be pretty happy. But you know what Supercoach is like. Anything can happen. I could lose all 4, or I could win all 4. Anything can happen. Hey, Paris, how you going, buddy? I was actually thinking about you earlier on today, mate. Because I was watching the Brad's stream, Supercoach Pro's stream, also doing very well this year last night, and you were hanging out there, I believe. And I like the fact that you're right up there. You're at 69 now, if I remember correctly, because everyone was. Oh, it was the other stream too. The other stream with the boys. Is it SDS Supercoach? The other boys you were on with, and even though you're right up there, and you probably don't really need advice for anyone, you're still going around and checking out everything, a bit like I do. You like getting everyone's opinions. You know, you're still doing your own thing, but you know, you go around, get everyone else's opinions, see what the other people are thinking out there in the community, and then you know, make your decision that way. So I mean, I like your style, buddy. I like your style. How's your day been, mate? You looking forward to the footy tonight? I was just having a bit of a look at me leagues and seeing how we're going to go. Do you care about your league, or in the way of leagues and stuff? Are you in a league with people you know, or you're just in a random league, you know, or do you go and join these other ones like Supercoach Edge and the Lair and stuff to see how, and Supercoach Elites? I usually chuck these ones on for fun, but this one up here, the big league, the one I run, is the one that I really care about. But yeah, do you really? I know this year, obviously, your priority is winning the 50k, and it ranked 69, so it should be, and you're probably destroying your league. You'd be pretty unfair, even though leagues seem to happen that way if you weren't number 1 in your league. But quite often, I remember times where I've obviously had the most points in my league, points scored for, and still managed to be unlucky enough to win matches. So, you know, anything can, it's just like a normal footy match in your league matches, anything can happen on the day. But yeah, do you really care about that? Or is it just something, you're just in some random leagues with people you don't know? Next year, I'm definitely going to have a YouTube league, so hopefully you'll join up for that one, mate. And we'll probably do a few draft leagues too, where we'll draft. We'll see if anyone wants to draft from my YouTube channel, or just in general. We'll just give them the code, and if people want to do it, they do it. Yes, I think so. I'm not going to go Doherty, buddy. I've decided that we're going to wait a week on Doherty. We're going to see how he goes. If he keeps that position, if Doherty comes out and scores 110 this week, fine, we can get him next week. At worst, he can go up like 25-30k, unless he scores 150, and then even at 415, 420, we're probably all going to want him anyway. So I just think it's a little bit risky. It's I've got this set up. I think it's say it again, Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. It's a trap that might work, but it's a trap that could destroy. You love hearing others' opinions. That's good, mate. Yeah, I think it just shows, you know, you're open to, you know, thinking about what other people are doing, and it helps you make your decision. Like I've heard some, you know, a lot of people are pushing Bont this. Yeah, whether you agree or not, that's fine. And that's the way to be with anything, right? Everyone's entitled to opinion, even if it's wrong. Hey, V-Rail, how you going, mate? Skippy says hi, buddy. Good to see Shane joined our other alliance. What a legend. What a legend. Nice to see him back. Yeah, I think that's the way to live life, right? Everyone's entitled to an opinion, even though you wish sometimes they would keep it to themselves. I did. I think this Bontempelli debate is very interesting. Skippy. I think the Bontempelli debate is very interesting. I've already got him, but there are millions of people getting him in this week. I have kind of buyer's remorse, really, from getting Bont after he scored me that 100. If I had my time back, I definitely wouldn't have got Bont at 660. I would have picked up someone and had an extra 100k in the bank. You're only in 2 leagues. Sometimes most of my friends are only in that 1 league, Paris, unless you're a tragic like me with lots of time on your hand. Like because I work a week on and then I have a week off. And so on my week off, I'm just like, hey, let's do a draft. Hey, let's do another draft. Hey, let's do another draft. And then I play the other fantasy and the real dream team as well. And I'm like, hey, why not do this? Hey, why not do this? And so it just keeps me occupied on that time off. But I think most people I know are only in, people who aren't tragics like myself who just play for a bit of fun are only in maybe 1 league. I tried to get my friends who are in my important leagues to do a draft league, and I couldn't even get them to take the time to do that. So, speaking of which, maybe we have a quick look at our drafts. I haven't really had a look this week to see who we want to get in or out. So I'm actually in 4. I did 4 draft leagues this year. Short is not back. Sanders is playing. Can I put anyone back? No, I set up most of these leagues, so I didn't make every player count through the bias, so that should be fine. Jackson, Brayshaw, Wagner, and Nasaya on the boundary, sitting on the bench. Have another look when the teams come out. That seems reasonable. One here. So anybody doesn't know, Tom McCarthy will not be playing for the Eagles this week. It was one of the other content creators told us yesterday, I believe. Says he's got some issues at home in Victoria and he's gone home. I feel that leagues make you play the game differently. For me, yeah, it does. Like, I'm definitely playing differently now than what I would be as if I was just concentrating on going for the Tree Lord's back. Tree Lord's got to be better than Sam Dow, right? Has to be. Look at the sad state of ruck. This league, this one here is my worst because I missed half the draft process. I made the league and then I forgot. Well, I got the times wrong. I made the league. I set the time, and then I got the times wrong of who was when it was gonna be. So, yep, Seano is not the smartest human sometimes. Anyone here that we like? Let's get Wagner for the next match. We don't need anybody in this match, but let's get him for the next match. It's got that DPP there. Get rid of Bice. Alright, back to the normal team. Yeah, it definitely makes you play, but it gives me extra enjoyment, right? I get it. I probably get more enjoyment out of the leagues than I do out of the overall score. We like to do well, but it's hard to do well where and there's no. It's the old Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last. So if you don't win the 50k, it's nice to finish in the top 50 or whatever, but it's much nicer to brag at. Like, my friends, if I finished in the top 50, my friends would be like, oh, you had a nice season this week, this year, Seano, well done, da. But if I beat them in the Premier, you're like, I won the Premiership, You have to live with me being a smug, for the next 6 months until that. We need Bont in our final teams. We do need Bont. I think we do. But at 100k cheaper, I was looking at Libba's scores. Libba's destroying it. If I had got Libba a couple of weeks back, instead of Bont, I would have got higher scores, plus I would have had 100k in the bank. So, I mean, I'm not unhappy to have Bont, but I do feel like it hurt my team a little bit by getting him. And I think, I'm not too sure, other people are getting him this week just because he's the Bont, and I totally understand it because I did the same thing. But whether it's the best for their teams, I'm not sure. Like, if you told me Bont and Cadwell, like, were you here from the beginning, buddy? So I really looked into Cadwell because I was almost going to get Doc and not Cadwell, just considering the round 16 bye, and that could be a little bit of trouble for me, even though I'm quite happy as a league, playing for my leagues, to kind of throw that bye a little bit. I still want 18, but if I get 17 or whatever, I might just take the 0 on the field maybe. But we did we looked at the stats for Cadwell, and the games where he plays over 63% CBAs, he's got an average of 117 over the last few years. And obviously these two average scores, he'd come back from his injury, didn't play as many CBAs and played a little bit less time on ground. So they eased him back into it after he had his calf or hamstring injury, one of those. I think it might have been a hamstring. And so they've eased him back into it, and now they're playing him back in the position that they like him at, the position they had him in for the first 3 rounds of the season. So in that position, over the last 2 years, he's averaged about 117 Supercoach. So, I would take that every single day of the week from a 440k player. So if he doesn't destroy your team for round 16, I think he's a very valid option this week. Value option who can deliver really nice scores. Obviously, you need to be very aware of that round 16 and how many players you have in that round. But I think he's a very good pickup. I think you really only should be getting, like we discussed, I think yesterday, most of the people coming off their buys this week, I'm not really that interested in, considering I guess I already have Bond. But I think you either go them or you go value. You shouldn't be getting any other premiums. You shouldn't be bringing in a Jordan Dawson or a Lockie Neal or anything like that this week. You're either going for value or you go those people that had their buy last week and then wait for this week. And the only ones I would consider, I think Rosie is okay, but he could go down in value more. I think price could go down more. He hasn't been killing it. Bond obviously is going to go nuts at some point, so fair enough. Libba or Ed Richards, I think, are both fine but expensive as well. And with Treloar coming back, I don't think that affects Bont very much, but I think it might affect. I think it probably affects Richards the most, but that's just me guesstimating. Over any other mid 100%, he has in past seasons. Let's be honest. He has in past seasons, and next year, if Bont is fit at the beginning of the season, he'll be one of my first picks. Yeah. But he can do it for 10 matches in a row. No, he won't. He won't do it for 10 matches in a row. But considering he's 200k cheaper, he still might be better to get him this week. What I'm saying is, yes, you're going to want Bont, but maybe don't get him this week. There's that good value option of Cadwell there. If you've got hardly any people playing in round 16 and you still got tons of rookies on your field, and you're not much cash, maybe pick up Cadwell this week. Hope that Bont has a down game. He's still got a high break even of 137. So yes, he can get that, but he could also get a 110. He showed last week that he is human. He's not the super Bont. Maybe it's better to get the player, because if Cadwell smashes out another 120 this week, you're not going to want him at 500k. You're not going to want to pay 500k for Cadwell. You're going to be looking in somewhere else, or you're going to you're going to pay that for him and you're going to miss that 60k. So, thoughts on Nick Martin? Yeah, I like Nick Martin. I think he's been killing it. Can he keep up this current form? Maybe. Cos? Can I just call you Cos? I'm not 100% sold on him, but I'd be happy to have him in my team. Let's put it that way. He had an interesting start to the beginning of the season. Paris, you're an Essendon boy. What's changed for Nick Martin in the last few weeks compared to, 70, 90, 80, then he goes 100, 140, then he gets a 50, then 90, 100. So since round 7, 98, 145, 95, 163 and 128. What's changed from round 8 onwards to round 9, 10, 11 and 12? Obviously, if he keeps this form, that's amazing. But at 589 versus forward for the first 9 weeks. So he played forward for the first 9 weeks and now he's playing an inside mid. Does Parrish coming back change that at all? If Parrish gets names, does he change that at all? I think most of the time Parrish it's not going to change Cadwell too much. Do they still play him as inside mid? He has that awesome DPP too. So, I think just the fact you can swing him from forward to back line is very, very helpful. And even if if he was playing forward and he got 140 playing forward. If one of these games here, 108, 145, it is against West Coast, it's 145, are playing forward, well then you'll take that every day of the week. He seems to have a fairly high floor. Even when he was playing forward, he got a 74 in the first game, but then everything else except for this 53 is really good. You take out that 53, you would have that every day of the week. You'd be happy to pay up for that. He is expensive though. Played well versus the Lions, so you think he's in just a bit of a purple patch as well at the moment. Again, I would think, I think Cadwell and him can score the same, and Cadwell's 140k cheaper. I think they can score pretty similar by the end of the season. Maybe not. Maybe Nick Martin has that huge. He can kick goals as well. He's had a few big scores. The 163, that's a big score. I don't know if Cadwell has that type of ceiling. He seems more like 105 to 110 player, 120, 130 on a good day. But the only problem I would say causes the money. I have no problems with the pick any other way. At 589 though, would I be paying up for that? Like I said just before, I don't think I'd be buying in any super premiums at that price this round unless they've already played their bye. So if you're buying in the Bont or Ed Richards or Trelaw or Rosie, or you should be getting Butters because of his break even, but if you're getting Butters, fine, you're paying up for them, they're going to play all through the rounds. If you're buying, this week really, you either go the rookies, and any future, if you see value in somebody else in the future rounds and you're okay for those buys, fine. But if you don't see value, I'd be waiting until they've had their buy. So if I wanted Nick Martin in my team, I wouldn't be getting him until round 17. At his current price. Yeah, at 580, I think there's better value out there, and I think there's I think his role is, I don't know. There are midfielders out there. The good thing is he's a defender forward, so you'd take that score as a defender forward. But if you wait to round 17, maybe he has a couple of down games. Maybe he gets a couple of 80 or a 90 or a 70. Maybe you pick him up for 520. At 500 to 520, I'd snap him up in a second for my forward, forward back, especially if you got like Campbell Gray here. You've got him in your forward line and you can swap him to the back line to cover injuries and stuff. That sounds fantastic. But but I would be waiting till he's played his bye and then reassess at his current price then. If he's been killing it and he's at 650k, oh well, you missed the boat, get somebody else. If he's gone down to 520k, jump on. This week I don't think is the week to do anything like that. So yeah, Paris is a Essendon boy, and Paris, if you guys, there's a few people watching now, is also in 69 out of everybody. So he's a good man to listen to if you're thinking about doing things like this. Except if he mentions getting Toby Green into your team, then it's probably tried a good idea to ignore that. Sorry, Paris, to bring that up. Sorry to keep bringing it up. Anyway, we like our team and we don't hate the Toby Green pick anyway. A lot of people, I heard some very interesting suggestions last night of, yeah, it was a trap, Vera. We got it ready? It was a trap. It was a trap. Yeah. If you see me screw up my English in the chat too, we got a few ready today for a bit of fun. We've got That's impossible. They've got that one ready. When we start looking at the stats for player, we can always do this one. And we've got one more, which is not really relevant this week, but like round 16, this could be how I feel about my team. Yes, that week could be a suicide mission. So, woohoo. Yeah, I just have to do them manually, Vero. I can't get it to... I don't know how to... YouTube isn't as fun for doing things like that as Twitch is, so we just have to do them manually. But I set them up so I can do them manually. I think they're a bit of fun, right? We like to have a bit of fun on the Seano channel. Yes, so my final trades, here we go, mate. Huswaite out, in for Clark. Marrick out, in for Cadwell. Make money, both cases. We make $900 by bringing in Cadwell over Marrick, and we make some money from Huswaite, a non-playing rookie, to a playing rookie. We're going to bank, and that gives us $67,500 in the bank. And we're not going to go Doherty. We'll have a look at Doherty next week. If Doherty comes and gets 120, we might go a straight Ashcroft to Doherty next week. How many trades? That will leave us with 11 trades. So that's the other reason I didn't want to do Doherty this week. I don't want to burn that last, I want to try and hold, like we talked about, trades for the finals of my leagues. So I don't want to just throw one away and then find I have to do something about it. I've already got, like, with Green in the team. I'm not bringing this up because but it's just the fact that. So now, when I get to that stage, I might want to chuck some money on top of Green and make him a Nick Martin. Say Nick Martin comes down to 510 or something, and Green goes up to 410. Chuck 100 on top of Green in round 17 and get Nick Martin there, or whoever else I might like. And so I'd prefer to have that trade there than take another risky mid-pricer, 380 mid-pricer, and have like Doherty be dropped or shit the bed or whatever. So I'm okay. I am okay. So, but I don't want to burn. I figure though, if I'm next week, so the plan is either next week or the week after to try and get enough money to get a Butters or a Butters-like player if we decide not to go with Butters. My team very much this year has followed the pack. I think it's, like Cadwell this week is going to be a big... How many people are trading in Cadwell this week? So around 7,000 people are trading him in. And how many... And he's already in... He's only in 1% of teams. So that's actually good. If that sticks at that, that's excellent. That's 210 points over. Is that, let's say he averages, if he averages 105, I'll take that every day of the week. For basically, I think it's more than what Marrick is going to score at his current role. Plus, Cadwell, you look at his stats. He can go this 120 very easy or higher. Look at his stats where he's played this position with this amount: 115, 127, 134, 110, 111, 129, 118, 84, 119, 123. He can go higher than 105. He could go at 110. His averages is 117 at these games when he plays over 60 something percent in CBAs. When he plays over 63% CBAs, he's averaging 117. I don't expect him to do that, but I'll take that every day of the week. If he averages 100, I'll be happy. If he anything over 100, if he averages 105 to 110, I think he'll be one of the bargains of the year. So Cripps could get 90 for 3 weeks, for example, and get 270 and save a trade, if that makes sense. You mean because of the buy? I'm happy because of the way I'm playing, more league focused. I'm happy to go a little bit tight on that last round 16 buy. Cripps is still 60k more. He's over 500. He's been before. He could definitely perform the same way, but I think at the end of the season, on Cripps' current form, Cadwell could perform exactly the same. But yeah, that's the only reason, if I was you guys, that I'd be getting Cadwell in, is the value. Don't get him in because, you know, you're thinking he's a super premium. He's not going to be in the top 8 midfielders. I'd say there's not very much chance there. Could he be in the top 12 to 14 midfielders? I think he could be. I think he could score the same as amount of Cripps at the end of the season. I think he could outscore Cripps at the end of the season. But whether he does or not, you know, and does he get injured again, you know, who knows. I think I'm getting him in this week purely as value. If I had more money and more trades, I'd be going for a someone who's had their bye, or if my team was in a better status with less rookies on the field, I might not upgrade at all this week. I might have just gone, like, I still think Pedler is a reasonable option. I think Pedler is still a reasonable option. I just don't have any money. Like, where would I spend 150k on a forward? Like, am I going to get rid of Tom Gross and make 17k? That's not a trade. Like, I'm not trading to make 17k. Cooper Simpson, I'd have to pay 10 grand to get Pedler in the team. I'd have a playing rookie, but I'll waste a trade. So the only trade with me getting Pedler makes any sense would be Kako to Pedler, and that's still only 60k. So I can totally understand if you guys are out there thinking about getting Pedler, but it just doesn't suit my team. I can, Angela. Let's have a look. Go to leagues. Go to rivalries. We're going to look for your team big. Here we go. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day, Angela. Help you out. What help do you need? So 50k, 12 trades, 50k in the bank. Let's have a look. So you've still got Reed. So round 17 to 18, probably need to jump off Reed. The break even of 100. So you've already made your trades here, or did you go early on Clark? Did you go earlier? You went early on Clark last week, I guess, because I don't think I get to see what you've done already this week. Sinclair, Dacos, fine. Reed, Battle. How's Battle been going for you? I mean, he's got some decent scores in there, a bit up and down, but you know, I don't think he's your biggest issue at the moment. Let's have a look. A couple of on bench. Select as emergency. Neil, Merritt, Sarong, Morrison playing. How's he doing for you? Ooh, 29, 26. Ooh, why did he score 26 last week? That's disgusting. He was doing, you know, okay. before that. Sparrow, Sheldrick, Ed Allen, Sard, Robertson, Mitchell, Camporelli, Gawn and O'Brien, Petrarca. You've got the karate kick man, Toby Green, as myself, Ashcroft, Harry Thomas, he was a good rookie a few years back, Erasmus, Dudley, Schobert and Delweb, and O'Driscoll. Okay, so how many trades did you say? You've got 12 trades, so it's a little bit rough. You do have some issues. I think the best thing you can do this week is, depending on what you're going for, if you just want to go up, if you want to go up and finish as high up in the ranks as possible, I'd probably go 2 people down and 1 up. You've already got Angus Clark, so you probably just go for Pedlar, take a shot on Pedlar, and get rid of somebody in the forward line, maybe. Nice. Is that? Let me know when it's come. Let me know when that happens. 6:20. We're still 20 minutes away. So yeah, Angela, I'd probably looking to go couple down and 1 up, depending on how much you've got. 50k, yeah. So maybe it is. I mean, I'm not sure on Pedlar's job security, but he's one of the only rookies available. And the other rookie, next week you'll have Keeler, and this week, if you wanted to go, we had a bit of a chat about Smith, Caleb Smith, who is in the back line. It's an option, so you could potentially go, we're looking at the wrong team here. So Smith in the back line makes 100k. Pedlar for probably keep Erasmus and Dudley to afterwards. You might as well hold on to a Driscoll if he comes back and plays next week. Well, then you'll have some nice coverage over the buys. I don't know, is Thomas playing? If Thomas plays, maybe instead of him, or maybe instead of him, so that would give you like 150k. That would give you 200k, and then you could spend that 200k on top of someone like a Morrison or a Sparrow. Try and get yourself another primo into the team. If I had your team, that's probably what I would be looking at. With the buys, maybe it looks like you've got a lot of Essendon players. You could also go, someone like a Smith down to Reed to make some money, or you could just hold Reed. Unfortunately, you've got a few issues in your team to try and solve, and so it might even pay just to hold Reed. Why hasn't Luke Jackson been scoring for you? Should have. He's got 122 last week. He's been killing it. He's been absolutely killing it, Luke Jackson. You've got him on the bench here, which obviously you must know. Hey Charlie, how are you, mate? Hey Charlie, were we talking about? No, that was another gentleman whose team. Bevo's Bandits. Donut Man, love the name. We'll have a look at your team next. Angela, that's what I would do. I would just keep downgrading. If you're looking to increase your score for overall ranking, suss out which rookies are on the bubble or available. Since you've already got Clark, you could probably, the only two, there's Smith and then there's Pedlar. I can't guarantee that either of them are going to be good. Smith can potentially get sub. Pedlar, again, job security, not 100% sure of it, but we don't have much options at the moment. And once the teams come out, we might be able to see if there's any 99k rookies. Once again, crew, if you haven't heard, Tom McCarthy from the Eagles will not be playing this week. Had family issues and has flown back to Victoria, so please don't trade him in this week. Good luck to him, and I hope everything's okay with him and his family. Thanks, am I single? Well, considering I'd spend all my time hanging out on Supercoach, yes, I am a single boy. You think Parrish pushes Cadwell out of CBAs a bit? Maybe. I'm hoping that Paris. I'm hoping that it's just they keep Merritt in the back line, and they don't. That doesn't hurt too much. Hopefully that helped a little bit, Angela. Really, thanks for coming along and having a chat and letting me show your team on stream and having a bit of a chat about it. I will go live every week, so if you guys want me to show your team and have a bit of a chat what we can do, I'll do my best. I don't claim to be an expert, but I'll give you the honest and best advice I can. And the other good thing is we've got some really knowledgeable people here in chat, like Paris here, who's right up there in the rankings, and if I can't help, he might be able to help. So yeah, I hope. What time the teams come out? Soon, I think. Soon. I've got it up here ready. 4:25, which is, did you say 20 minutes or so? About 15 minutes. And so definitely want to look at teams before you do any trades, especially if you're going to get in those rookies. You want to look at if they're named, and if they're named, set up a rivalry. Can we do that? Alright, let's have a look. Who was next? Donut Man, Bevo's Bandits. Bevo's Beavers, Bevo's Bandits. Here we go. Alright, buddy, how are you? Overall, 337. Well, that's a nice rank, mate. Well done. Very, very nice rank. 14 trades, 310k. That sounds like a nice amount of trades. I guess that's before you trade this week, I assume. If you've got 14 trades after this week's trades, that's awesome, but I assume it's before. 310 in the bank is very nice. Thanks, Angela. Sinclair, Whitfield, Zorko, Holmes, Nasaya, and Gray. That looks like an awesome back line. You've got, unfortunately, you went the bus. You've got Gray playing there, which will hold you on. Sheezer, which can move back there. So you've got a completed back line, which looks really nice. Have you got an option to get Clark in your team somehow? Maybe. Who's up forward? Maybe you could swing a Simpson or a Johnson suspended, right? Suspended. So you probably keep him, hoping he's coming back, but maybe even try. You want to keep these two. Boxshaw. Simpson's out for basically the whole season. Maybe if I was you, I'd be getting rid of Simpson, switching Gray to the forward line, and getting Clark there. That way, at least you make some money. You make 30k, but you've already got 300k in the bank. Jack, yep, certainly, buddy, certainly. So your midfield: Richards, Brayshaw, Dawson, Dacos, Rao, Lindsay, Boxall, Allen, where you've got... So if Sheezel goes back, you've got a couple of spots to fill there. Sherry and Gordon, the big boys. Smith, Petrarca, Warner, Rankine, Bolton with Daniel on, so that's and Ashcroft there. So you have a very nice team, which reflects your rank, buddy. So congratulations on your season so far. You're doing very well. If this was my team... with 14 trades, I would be definitely trying to get Clark into my team, and then you've got that 350k. You said you've got 310. Even if you got another 30, you would have 350. Then you would have a choice whether to hold. I don't see any point of you getting Peddler. I mean, unless... because you're not really making any money unless you were desperate to get... I mean, you do have a lot of non-playing rookies, so maybe, get rid of Boxall, move him up and get Peddler or something to make a little bit more money. But you don't have to get money this week. You don't have too many other problems. You don't have Marek. You don't have, you still already got rid of Reed. You don't have Bias. You don't have Cleary. So you don't seem to have a lot of problems. Paris. So what are you actually thinking? You're thinking about Donut Man? What are your plans? Because I think you really want to be trying to get it looks like your forward's done, your back line's done. You just maybe want to be getting some of these rookies off the field and get some premiums on in here. But obviously you got 300k, which is nice, which means from 300k you could have whoever you want. You could probably have, if you went Clark down and you wanted to join the crew, the Bont crew, you could get Lindsay up to Bont. But the only thing is, Lindsay's one of your only playing rookies, so you could also try and get your 300k and get like a Jai Cadwell like me for a Boxall, or a one of any of these guys, your 300k on top of Allen, who Allen's providing you a swing, so maybe keep him, but a Boxall, a Gross, potentially gets you a Jai Cadwell if your round 16 buy is okay, and it doesn't look too bad. You got Holmes at the back and you got Whitfield. Might be a little bit risky getting too many from that round 16 buy. Maybe just hold off for a week and trade next week. Try and get the Butters or whoever. Not sure if you go Bont or Cadwell. I think for you, considering your position, 300, if you want to go up in ranks, I think looks like you got Rowell as well. I think you probably got too many 16 players to go Cadwell. I mean, I like the idea of going Cadwell and getting one of these rookies off the field, but if you before you would do that, definitely use your old Supercoach Plus. Click on the buys and work out how many you've got in round 16 and try not to count, because you've got quite a lot of dead rookies on the bench as well. So Cadwell seems like he might be nice for your team, but I don't know if you can do it without jeopardising your round 6 round. That's good. God, you make me go all... Sean, I'll go all red and get embarrassed. So it's nice to see some girls involved in Supercoach. We've had a few. We've got one in my league, a girl named Joanne. I don't know her personally, but she's been playing ever since I started the league. She was just a random person that joined in the league, and then every year you send out the automatic sends out, says, would you like to recreate your league? And you click yes, and it sends out to their email. It says, would you like to join this league again? And she's joined every year, and she's really good. She's kicked my butt on several occasions, and so it's nice to see some girls into Supercoach. And so Angela, Donut Man, I hope that helped a little bit. Yeah, definitely trying to get some primos in there, but you seem in a really good position. This week might be just a week to do a couple of downgrades. Get Clark in your team, decide whether you want Pedlar or not. Can you make any money by getting Pedlar? Not a lot. You're in kind of situation with me where if you get rid of like a Johnston or a Simpson or a Boxall, you're not actually making any money by getting Pedlar. You are getting a playing rookie. It might be worth it in your case to go like a Simpson to a Pedlar, pay 10 grand. Hopefully, if you knew he was going to play, that'd be a viable option. In 3 or 4 weeks, sell him and use that money to upgrade. The only problem is if you get Pedlar and he gets dropped next week or drops to 20 or something, it's a bit rough, and you've paid up for him at 150k. So if I was you, I don't think I would be getting any premiums which haven't already had their buy. If the ones you've already got Ed Richards, so the only ones I think people are looking at are Rosie and the Bont, and possibly Libba are the only ones people are looking at, all quite expensive. Rosie's the cheapest, but I still think having that you don't have a lot of playing rookies, keeping Lindsay there might help you out for a little bit as well. Yeah, I think banking cash is the best thing you can do, buddy. Get some cash, and then hopefully, move up one of these rookies to another primo or value next week or the week after, and then look to do again. And when you come out of the buys, hopefully all of these 3 players are, or at least these 2, are replaced by primos, and then get Lindsay up as one of your potentially last ones if you can hold him if you need the money. Hope that helped, Donut Man. So who was next? Charlie, Cadwell's a Cartel. Have you got Cadwell this week? I would hope. Caldwell. Yep. Sorry guys if I screw up the names of a player or your name. You know what we're gonna do. Let's. Where are we, Charlie? Cardwell. Did you use the comma when you did it? Can I not spell? Caldwell. 1L? Sorry. I need my glasses. I need me old man glasses. Is that exactly how you spell it, buddy? Caldwell's Crew. I had this trouble the other day where I was a bit dodgy. Is that definitely how you spell it, Charlie? Charlie, exactly? I'm having a little bit of trouble, having old man trouble. Caldwell's Cartel. Looks right? You guys can see what I'm writing there. Not sure what's going. I had this same problem with the Rio boy the other day, and I was like, I thought it was because I was an idiot. Maybe I wasn't an idiot. Maybe I wasn't as big an idiot as I thought I was. Cardwell. Let's just go through Cardwell, all of them. What rank are you? There it is. I got you. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Let's set up a rivalry. Alright, let's have a look, mate. Where are you? Overall rank 54 grand. Not too bad. How many, there we go. How many, even though cash is tight, the only problem with you doing Donut Man doing Bont is that you're leaving yourself with potentially very, very bare coverage on that in that midfield. Where are we? Charlie, I think, is that right? Yep, Charlie. So let's have a look, Charlie. What are your plans this week, mate? Do you how many trades? How much money you got in the bank? Finishing your team with Bont, Dacos and Butters. What order do you think you should bring in? Butters, at least not till next week, maybe the week after. But I think you got, if you're definitely sold on those 3, you go Bont. You go Bont this week just because he's had his buy. If you can afford him, you go Bont, and you pick up Dacos or Butters. You pick up Butters once his break even goes down, and you pick up Dacos once he's had his buy. I think it's more buy relevant for you. I would do it in that order. So, alright, let's have a look, Charlie. Whitfield, Zorko, Holmes, Pryor, O'Sullivan, Views with Dale on the bench. Doesn't look like there's nothing wrong with that, mate. You're alright. You've got a couple of rookies there. You got Rosie, which can go back in there. So basically, you just got the one rookie on the field there. That's nice. I assume you'll be getting Clark this week. Will you be getting Clark for a... Who's got the highest break even out of these 2? Pryor, O'Sullivan. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably be getting Clark for Pryor, just because you're swapping an Essendon player for an Essendon player, which means your round 16 buy isn't affected, and you're making well over 200k. So that would be my and the only other thing is if you wanted to get rid of like a Huswaite and move like Holmes into the centre and then take him back later on, and then get Clark that way. Get rid of a non-playing rookie for a playing rookie and keep Pryor. That could also be an option for you, buddy. Sinclair, yep, so you got lots of back line. You could actually got a full back line when you need it. Sinclair, Dawson, Neal, Dacos, Rao, Warner, Sardis. Hopefully Sardis gets a go at it at some point. Hasty on his bye, but also hopefully gets a go. Cameron and Sherry, yeah, that's fine. You want to, hopefully, he's going to be on the field, right? I'm looking at the old teams. He's going to be on the field, I assume. And made your captain. Sherry is the number one captain or vice captain choice for this week. Do not pass go. Do not select anybody else. Campbell Gray is out this week. Oh, that's a disaster, Angela. That is a disaster. I was hoping that we all knew that could happen. Yeah, the team's out, are they? For Bolter, even though the coach lied. The coach, yeah, see, we all took this pick. I warned everybody not to do this, and I did it myself, and now we're paying for it. Yeah. That's rough. That is so rough. We knew exactly for the same position. We did the data. We crunched the numbers. The coach came out and said, oh, we like him as an AFL. He can play everywhere. And then he drops him. Boo to the coach. Boo to the coach. So the only one good thing is he'll play again around 17 because Noah Bolter's a naughty boy and can't go out after 6 p.m. He's not allowed to ride his push bike after 6 p.m. So we'll just do this team and then we'll have a look at that and then we'll get back on and see if there's any other. Jack Smith, yep, we'll get to you next. We'll have a quick look at those teams though and then we'll get to you, Jack. Smith, Martin, you got Martin there, nice. Petrarca, Rankin, Ashcroft, Kako. Could do with another. So you pretty much need, again, like the rest of us, you've got about you've got Bo Allen here as well. You've got a few rookies on the field. Again, for you, my best suggestion would be you're going Clark for sure this week. Where you do it, whether you want to bank some cash from down from a Pryor, or you want to go like a Huswaite and get a rookie off the field. You got 400k. Well, then I might get the Huswaite off the field, and then again your round 16 bye looks a bit rough. You could potentially, 400k plus another 50k off him. It's 450k. You got a lot of choices for that. You could get Bont for Sardis. You could get, for either Sullivan or you could get Bont for Sullivan, even though you wouldn't do that. You just got a 95. Oh, you got a 95. Very nice. Buse didn't play, but he's got a 34. Ashcroft, you can upgrade Ashcroft to a primo, the same. Again, you've got what seems like a lot of Essendon, you've got some Brisbane, you've got a Gold Coast player. I don't think you can go Caldwell just because, even though he's in the name of your team, just because of the round 16 buys. I think you can only go Caldwell if you feel like you're going to be, if you count, use Supercoach Plus and you count and you've got 20, 21 players playing, not including these rookies, in round 16, then maybe you can go there. I was hoping that Campbell Gray would be playing around 16. If he doesn't, which I don't think he does, I think the next game, unless they bring him in due to an injury, the next game that Noah Bolter has to stay home for being a naughty Bolter is at round 17. All right, let's have a quick look at the teams, and then Jack, I'll come back to you. Remind me. 15 trades. You've got a lot of trades too, Charlie. So I'd be tempted to go maybe 2 down even this week potentially. If you can, maybe go Clark to Pryor and get Pedler in as well if you feel like Pedler's got some decent job security, which I don't know if he does or not. there are not many rookies on the horizon for next week either. I only know of, there's the Essendon dude, Zach Johnson, I believe his name is, who was subbed out last week but was on a reasonable score before that. And the Keeler, I called him Kiefer in one of my other videos for a whole video, but I think the St Kilda dude, Keeler, who's also a backman. So I understand if people are jumping on Pedler this week. I can't honestly give advice whether I think he's going to be there in a few weeks' time or not. He is a mature age and has played before, so maybe they persist with him, or maybe he gets dropped. You're not too sure. Tigers could play Gray up forward, Nicholas, but they haven't. They've dropped him. That's what the coach said, and that's what all the other content creators said. All these people I watched were like, yeah, I think he can play forward, the coach. And the coach did come out and said he looks like an AFL player. Well, if he looks like an AFL player, you should have played him. Dirty. Seano's grumpy. Seano's grumpy. Alright, we'll get the team ready. Nashville. For you, Jack. Why is it misbehaving? Why is it misbehaving? Just doesn't like. Not spelling it wrong. So it wasn't me the other day. I thought it was me being a complete idiot the other day. It wasn't me at all. See, Seano's not as dumb as he thought he was. We looked at your team the other day. Have I got you saved? There you are. So what? Oh, maybe because you're already there. Maybe that's the reason you're already there. Let's have a quick look at the teams, and then we're going to come back to you, Jack. Just really need to have a look at these before the game starts. So we know Thursday. They've got the subs announced yet? No subs announced just at the moment. So Adelaide versus Brisbane. We have Rory Laird's back in, if you happen to have him. Sid Draper dropped. Where is that? Luke Pedler is named on the bench. So there's a chance he could be the sub. Pedler, you assume that Rochelle, Peatling and Brodie Smith probably aren't going to be the sub. So there's a reasonable chance that he's the sub, I would think. So I'd be a little bit dubious about picking Pedler until at least you see the team sheets. Until you see who's the sub. So anyone picking Pedler, it's a Friday game, so you can probably wait, hopefully if you're not going out or anything, and wait to just before the game tomorrow. If he's named a sub, don't do it. If he's not named the sub, then you can potentially go there. Finding people's name is world class. Let's see, I don't have anything for Seano's an idiot. We don't have anything for that. We just got this one. It doesn't really work. Where's the volume? That's impossible. So this really, I'm dirty on this, I have to admit. Not because of other people said he was going to get him in, but because the coach came out and said it. So I did all the research. I'm like, yay, he's a direct swap for Noah Bolter. That's his position. And they just stuffed him. So I don't want to wish injury on anybody, but if someone would like to get dropped from that team in the forward line, that'd be nice. Yes, I'm very dirty. So Sydney has 500,000 people in and 500,000 people out. Matt Roberts' illness. Oh my God. Thank God there's only the two teams out. Matt Roberts out. Ugh, harsh. Caleb Mitchell out. A lot of people were talking about him. It's a potential, he had rookie options. Hamling, Laddams and Cleary, after that match last week, we kind of thought that he might be getting out. If you've got Cleary, now's the time to get out of him and trade him down or up. Not that he'll lose you any money this week if you don't like Pedlar, or Pedlar is named as a sub and you were going to go Cleary to Pedlar, then maybe, wait another week and see if there's any options next week. Francis Wicks, Callum Mills, after he was a naughty boy as well, and Harry Cunningham. So that's interesting. Where is Mills named? In the centre on the wing. On the wing, followers, Heaney and James Rowbottom. Just move Mills down there instead of Rowbottom. Put Rowbottom on the wing, please. That'd make me much happier. Alright, next team we got Geelong versus Gold Coast Sun. And it's already a disaster. It's a disaster. And this week's not a disaster. If this happens in round 16, that's going to be a disaster. If I count that I've got 18 players playing and all of a sudden there's a few late outs and a sickness and a couple of rookies are dropped, my round 16 could look very nasty. Alright, so for Geelong, they've got Dangerfield and Jack Martin in. Is that the Jack Martin that used to play for Carlton? He was actually not too bad for Supercoach back in the day. I don't know if I'd be going him now, but he actually used to be like a mid-forwardy type guy. Who knows what he does in this. And Reid out and Reid in and Moyle out. So Suns, there's no one we're really super interested in the Suns. For Geelong, Mullins in, maybe he plays a tagging role. Maybe he tags a Anderson or a Rao. Connor O'Sullivan's there. We were looking at someone's team earlier on. I had him as well. So nothing too dire there. Alright, GWS versus Port Adelaide. Madden, Daniels and Ware in. Angrove is out. Briggs injured. Paul Callum Ward. Nicholas Madden. Is he a ruck? Is he a ruck? Is he there, ruck? Madden. He is a 119 ruck. 119k ruck. Hasn't played yet. No forward swing ability or anything. See, with Briggs being injured, let's see how that's going to go. Let's see how that is going to go. Something to keep an eye on. Might be a money maker for a couple of weeks' time, depending on how long Briggs is out for. Alright, Port. Radaglia. Got it right. I didn't even have to do it in English. Kane Farrell and Josh Sin in. Evans, Lord and Atkins out. Okay, I don't think that should affect too many Supercoach teams. Not too many people. I mean, we thought about Josh Sin at the beginning of the season, but I think most of us faded him. Moraes is on the bench. Looks like a very likely sub candidate. Maybe him, or actually it could be any of these guys that you'd say. Richards, Jackson or Moraes could all be subs, right? You expect Burton and Boak are probably not, unless they're giving Boak like being a super sub or giving him a rest. GWS, if you would like to play Toby Green in the centre for a little bit, I'd be pretty happy with that this week. Followers, Lockie Whitfield named as a follower. Well, that's probably not great. That's probably not what we really wanted to hear. We kind of want him in the back line, right? Earlier on we were looking at someone of a team which had Sam Taylor. That might actually turn out to be a reasonable tick if it stays there. Bedford is in the team. If you would like to tag Butters, for the community, I'd say we'd be very happy if you could do that for us. Connor Rosie is also named as a follower, which also might not be great for those people. Radaglia comes back, goes into the back line. Josh Sin goes into the back line. And Connor Rosie finds himself back as a follower. So obviously the coaches don't always do what they say in their lists. But if you were to go by this, I'd be a little bit dubious about getting Connor Rosie this week. I'd want to wait and see if that back role persists. Because if they move him back in the midfield, could be a double whammy for us. Could be the people that got him in. He goes back to a midfield role. And it could be the other whammy where maybe he gets tagged instead of Butters. We're all dreaming that Butters gets tagged. Maybe gets some. Pedler will most likely be the sub. Yeah, I'm thinking that there's a really high chance he'll be the sub. And so anybody who's thinking about going Pedler, I would 100% wait to the team. At least it's a Friday game. Wait to the team sheets tomorrow. Wait before the game. If he's named as a sub, don't get on. Doc named on the wing, which is interesting. I think he was named there last week as well, though, is the only thing, Paris. So Carlton might be a tricky team that doesn't want to actually give it away. So he played half back last week but was named on the wing. So let's see where he plays this week. So North Melbourne versus West Coast. North Melbourne have 1 million people in. Robert Hansen, Teakle, Dawson, Harvey and Logue. Oh, that's going to be extended benches, that's why. In Cripps, Clay Hall is in, but it's extended bench, don't forget, and Bailey Williams is in. Clay Hall is probably still might miss out and be an emergency. Tom Gross has not come back, unfortunately. Bo Allen is still there. Noah Long. Marek is actually named on the interchange. He could potentially get dropped. Not that we shouldn't, but you should probably be getting off him this week. But that, keep an eye out next week. That could be quite a few relevant players in here on the Eagles side of things for people. If you've got, I mean, Flynn's obviously, we've still got him. Flynn is in like Flynn, as they say. Bailey Williams has been playing with Matt Flynn anyway, so that doesn't seem to make any difference. It stops him getting 140, but Matt Flynn has still managed to get 70s or 80s. So that's interesting. So Carlton, at least Doc's not named on the bench. Hey, Paris, that's the one good thing. So Carlton versus Essendon. Darcy Parish, where are they naming Darcy Parish? On the interchange. You'd assume he's going to get the game. You assume he gets the game over Sardis, wouldn't you? I mean, even though they've got Setterfield, Parish and Sardis, all very similar type players. So who's going to get dropped out of this, I'm not too sure. Cadwell is named as a follower, which I really like for someone who's buying him this week. Gives me a lot of confidence that that's the position that they like him in. Zach Johnson is named as a halfback, so I really like that too. He's named on the field, so he won't start as a sub. We just got to see if they're going to sub him out during the game. I was a bit dirty on Essendon last week. Zach Johnson was having a really good game for rookie, and he probably would have been, if he wasn't subbed out last week and he could have got through this week without being subbed, he would have been the number one rookie to go for next week. But we have to see if he's going to get subbed out or not. So yeah, Doc named here, which is exactly where he was named last week. So have they got anybody coming in to Silvani? Yeah, this is the problem. Jack Silvani might be taking the position that Doc had last week. Silvani's not going to play on the wing, you would think. Alex, you got Hudson O'Keefe, Fantasia, what a great name, and Zach Williams. Zach Williams was used to be good, but now they play him as a forward. Out Lewis Young and Harry O'Farrell. So I think it's another one where we look at Sam Doherty, but Silvani coming in scares me a little bit. Seems to, according to team sheets, take that position. Maybe that means that maybe that's just, team sheets, and maybe goes back there and plays it. I mean, for me, surely Doherty is better than Oliver Hollands. I know he's moved from midfield back there, but Doherty wants to play in the back line. He smashed it the couple last weeks at the VFL, and he did alright at AFL level in the back line. Surely you just put Ollie on the wing, put Oliver on the wing, and give Doc, give Doc. Possibly Smith, yeah. And then this game is on Monday, so it's not announced yet. So there's some interesting things there, crew. I think the one to really worry about is Pedler. I think he's the one that if you were going to go Jai Cardwell and he didn't affect around 16 by, I think this shows you that it's pretty safe to go there. Will Parish or Setterfield or Sardis take some of his CBAs? Maybe, but it looks like, maybe they take more of Sam Durham's As for the pecking order, I mean, Cadwell might be number one midfielder. Obviously he's not as good as Merritt, but if they're playing Merritt in the back line this week, they say they're playing in the centre, but if they play Merritt back again, they haven't got in, like, the back line hasn't got any new players come in. So if they play Merritt back a little bit, maybe Durham, Dersma, I'd say, if we were ranking with Merritt in Merritt in the middle, it would be Merritt, Caldwell, and then probably Parrish. In years past, it's probably been Parrish, but I reckon these two are probably... Parrish hasn't been playing AFL level for a while and coming back from injury. I think that they might be a bit easing back into it. I don't know, Parrish, you're the Essendon boy. Do you think that's fair to name Caldwell as potentially the second banana behind Merritt when it comes to inside mids? So if people are going to lose CBAs, it's probably some of these fringier boys. I mean, Clark and Dersma are the wings, obviously, but Durham, you think... I wouldn't be putting Durham ahead of Cadwell on his stats. One to check out for Friday night. Also, this one, if you're holding Marek, you can't do anything about it. If you've got Clay Hall in your team, it's get an eye on tomorrow. The Eagles, see who they're dropping. A few people have got Jacob Constanti. Do we need one of these? Is that correct? Do we need one of these? That's impossible. Constanti. A lot of people have him as a rookie. You might want to be keeping an eye on him and make sure he's named as well. Good thing is there's only those two teams out this week. Obviously, the other big issue is the grey one, which is disgusting. Bloody Richmond coach. Bloody Richmond coach. Gives Eagles all their leftovers. We get all their leftovers, and now he's screwing me over on the team sheets as well. So, and Thomas Sims here, I don't think he'll be a sub, but there's always a sneaky chance he'll be the sub. And Caleb Smith, we were talking about Caleb Smith earlier on. One of these three will be the sub. Smith, Sonsi, which I probably pronounced wrong as well, or Sims. Probably I'd say out of Smith or Tyler. We're just going to call him Tyler so we don't look like an idiot. Are probably going to be the two, I would think, are going to be one of the subs in those games. So I'd probably stay away from Caleb Smith, even though he's cheap and he's played the last couple of rounds, just in case. Just in case. Bites is named on the interchange here. Sheldrick's also named on the interchange. Ton Hanley, I'd think that he's probably the sub here. Tom Hanley, probably. Obviously, this is all just speculation, but looking at team sheets, you would think, and I believe he's already been a sub a few times. I'd say there's a reasonable chance he's going to be the sub. Sid Draper's out. There's a few people talking about him. Kai Lohman. Some people were looking at Kai Lohman, named on the interchange bench. Pray to God that Levi is not the sub. Devon Robertson, Ty, maybe because this Ty guy, he's new and he's on the bench, maybe he is the sub, which it would seem to make sense. Hopefully he does well and we get a Brisbane rookie available. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Let's find out who this guy is. Never heard of him. Any Brisbane supporters out there? Ty, is it G or C? Ty Gallup. He's a forward. 113k forward. 113.5k forward. Never heard of him. First game. Oh, is Carroll also? Oh no. Oh no. Is Carroll also dropped? Where's Carlton's team? Hopefully they're down here and it's an extended bench. It's extended bench. Pray to God. Oh. Matthew Carroll. Pray to God that Carroll gets a game. He might not. Carroll might be dropped too. This could be really could be a problem for us, especially considering the round 16 buys for me. I was hoping that Gray would play, and I'm hoping that Carroll would play. It's potential that neither of them play. With the fact that these seems like they've got in a few. There's a forward. Backman, I'm not too sure. Fantasia usually plays forward, right? And I'm not too sure where Alex plays. So I think there's a chance that Carroll gets dropped, gets made an emergency. So keep an eye out for that as well. Ooh, scary crew. Very, very scary. Do I need to... Does that affect my team in... Well, Roberts, Gray's not playing anyway, so that's dodgy. Gross is definitely not playing, which is fine because we're using him as a loophole there. Can't do anything about the back line. Can't do anything. Gray's not going to play. Roberts not going to play, and potentially Carroll's not going to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I should have 20 players play. Minimum. Any good picks around 250? I don't think so. Rangatank. I would be, at this time of the season, I don't know if I'd be taking too many swings at that 250 price. I would be going a little bit cheaper and getting a rookie, getting the Clarks ever. Can you guys hold on 2 seconds? I'll be right back. I think my groceries are arrived. I just have to grab them and put the stuff in the fridge. I'll be right back. Enjoy the footy for 2 seconds, the footy.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Sorry about that, guys. Yes, we get the groceries delivered, and they just got delivered. Stuff is in the fridge, ready for dinner later on, and we're back. We're back to the important things in world like Supercoach. Yes, Jack. Gray also makes me angry. So let's go back and have a look at your team. It's your team we're looking at, right? Nashville, Tennessee. That's right. We got there eventually. Is that right? Is this you, Jack? Yep, Jack. We were chatting the other week, weren't we? We were chatting the other day, or was it yesterday? Gray out, yes, also makes me angry. I still think you've got to get rid of Trainer. The only one good thing about Gray is at least, you know, worst case scenario, he comes back in round 17 and he'll make you some money and, you know, cover you then. But he's not going to cover us through the buys like we hoped he would. Big screw you to Richmond and the coach. So Bont, Dawson, Sarong, Dacos, Sarah, Ned Long, a couple of rookies. You've got the big Sherry and Cameron, Smith, Warner, Rankin, Ashcroft, Philippou, that sucks too. Gorn down here, which is good, and Daywicks with you've got Caleb Mitchell, who's did we say he's dropped or did we say he's in the emergencies? We said he's dropped, right? Caleb Mitchell dropped, unfortunate. After Sydney's destruction last week, you can kind of understand why that's kind of happened. But yeah, a little bit. Again, for you, buddy, I still think I'd be getting Trainer off the field. Even though, I mean, what's his break even? 89. You might need a warm body now. Now that Gray's is going to be out, maybe you need a warm body for who's actually going to play. Was Mitch named for Geelong? Sorry if this is giving you like fits. Me spinning up. Where's Geelong? Where are you, Geelong? You are playing this week. I know you are. Here we go. No, he's named as an emergency. That sucks. The Robertson, great. Are you that bad? Are you Rangatank? You've got that many Freo and St Kilda players that you're struggling to get 18 on the field. Zach Bailey, let's have a look. Zach Bailey. Some people are going 430, break even 118. He seems to have a good week about every third week. 60, 61. I mean, I don't love it at his price, to tell the truth, mate. I prefer if you went someone cheaper. I mean, people were talking about Kai Lohman. Interchange, a worry. You could take a gamble that he's not going to be the sub, but it could be a gamble. You might pay out. I think, I think at that amount, that's probably too much for him. For if you were going to get a player at this price, why not just get Jai Caldwell? They play the same buy anyway. If you're okay for that round 16 buy, why not just get Jai Caldwell? And I think he's got a better chance of being a little bit more consistent than this guy's scoring. He does have the DPP that's nice, but 60s and 70s every, it looks like he hits the hundreds, but he only does it every about third week. He seems to have a very low floor. So I think if I was choosing between a round 16 buy player at that price, I'd probably just get Cadwell instead. Yeah, I think if I was you, I'd feel more comfortable with that. Don't let me talk you into anything though. Obviously, guys, I'm not an absolute expert. Do what you feel is right. If you want, and it doesn't hurt to have a pod The only problem with that pod is he cost quite a bit more. Like, I'd even be keener to go someone to take the swing at the... I don't know if I want to recommend anyone to go Doherty. That was something I was going to do and not recommend anybody else to do. I think it's a little bit crazy to go him, but it's cheaper. And the same with the Kai Lohmann. How much is that Kai Lohmann fella? He could be the sub, which could be really dangerous, but he's only 230k. And if you need the body and you got him in and then he was a sub, that'd be a disaster. Yeah, so... So with you, Jack, yep, same thing. If I was you, I'd be getting Clark for somebody. You don't want to get rid of Gray. I mean, the question is, do you just take the hit on Trainer and lose money? Hope he's not the sub. Hope, where's he named this week? Where is Trainer named? I think he's named on the bench, right? Which doesn't help you make any decisions at all, right? We're already grumpy at Richmond. Do we want to get any more grumpy at Richmond? Oh no, he's named on the wing, which is where he kind of played for his dismal scores. He played kind of a forward wing role to get those 2 crap scores. So, I mean, at least he's named on the field. If you need a body... Jack, if you feel like you need a body, I mean, and you're prepared to dump cash just to have someone play, I can understand if you went someone more like a Huswaite, like Bo Allen into the middle, drop Huswaite for Clark. That gets you another body on the field, hopefully for a few weeks, and you just ride Trainer's money loss to get a man on the field. I guess it depends on what you need. Do you need the money and you're looking to upgrade, or do you need to, are you looking, are you desperate to get people, it looks like you've got bugger all Richmond or St Kilda players, so it looks like you're probably going to be okay this week. You don't have Roberts, so you got Sarong, so you look like you can field a team this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whether that's Trainer or Clark, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Is Barry playing? 18, 19. If Barry plays, you've got 20. So you don't have to blow up your team to get a player to play this week. Maybe in future weeks. You don't also look like you have a ton of Gold Coast, Richmond or Essendon players. So it looks like your round 16's okay. So I would be, Clark is definitely an in. I mean, potentially Caldwell could be an in for you as well, buddy, if you can afford going up from a Lindsay type, depending on how much money you've got in the bank, a Philippou to Caldwell, if you could get someone to come into the forward line. I don't see how you would make that happen, though. You don't seem to have any DPP action going on. You've got Gawn, like me, blocking up your flex. Yeah, maybe just hold till the next week. Trainer, Philippou and Ashcroft. And who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? I think that seems fine. Like we talked about, if one of those names is Pedlar, I'd be very worried. Clark, number 1. Okay, get Clark. Clark for Trainer. I don't know, maybe I'd keep Levi Ashcroft and just do something with Philippou, depending on how much money he gets you. And then next week, have a look at maybe doing something like Keeler next week if he plays, or that Zach Johnson kid next week. Alright, we'll have a look at you next Ranger. Are you a Ranger? You look like a Ranger. I think I saw you on someone else's stream the other day, mate. Yeah, you got your picture. You certainly look like a ranger. Don't worry, I would never call you a ranger. Just like a matchstick or something, you know. So rude, Seano. So rude. Yeah, so I don't know, buddy. I would potentially be keeping Ashcroft because he's a body on the field. Maybe saving that trade to next week. Nice, Ray. Good to see you get a good sense of humour. I like to joke around a bit. I actually try and behave myself on YouTube just a little bit. We try and control the swearing and be a nice boy on YouTube most of the time. Sometimes we lose it. Sometimes we lose it. Have a rant. It can't help ourselves, and the F word comes out a few times. But we try and behave ourselves a little bit. B-Rail, our friend B-Rail's probably pissing himself laughing up there, who's used to me streaming on Twitch and knows how yes, Seano cannot be offended pretty much. I would seriously consider just going down. Yeah, V-Rail, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, I would seriously consider not trading Levi Ashcroft. I mean, he's fine. He's got break even 77. He can get there. Get rid of Philippou. He's not playing. He's injured. Go Clark. Get Clark for trainer. You're making yourself 140k. I'm not too sure how much you said you got in the bank. You're getting 120k on top of whatever you get, and then get what you can for Philippou. I mean, I would definitely be, if there's some way you could wrangle getting, Philippou out for Caldwell, I'd highly recommend it with your team, but you don't seem to have the DPP options to do it, unfortunately. Maybe you could trade out Philippou. No, I was going to say move Campbell Gray forward, but then you've got no one to go back either. You got no DPP. That's why sometimes it's. Oh, you can move Sard back. You could do that. So you could trade out Philippou and trainer, get Clark for trainer, trade out Philippou, move Campbell Gray forward, and then move Sard back. Does that work? Trade out trainer. You're getting Clark. Then trade out Philippou, move Sard back, get Caldwell in the middle. Can you do that? Have you got enough money? Another 160 on top, 160k-ish on top of this is 3. I think you might just be able to afford to go Philippou to. It'll be close. Seano's maths not the best, but it'll be close. If this was my team, that's what I'd be doing. 2 trades, holding a trade, holding Ashcroft. I like to think I have a good sense of humour. Yeah, we joke around. I'm never that serious about anything. You guys can take the piss out of me as much as you like, and I'm going to like it. The only thing that's going to get you banned from my channel is if you're racist or offensive to other people or stuff like that. Then you'll get banned faster than you know what to do with. But I am a bit cheeky. Yes, I'm a little bit cheeky. Like I said, I try to behave on YouTube. I am being. If you've been watching my videos, I've been very behaved to what about it. Speaking of cheeky, you're a bit cheeky. Yeah. So that's what I would. If that's enough money to do that, Jack, that's what I would be doing. 2 trades, Philippou up to Caldwell, trainer out, and Philippou out. That's what I would do. And then next week, reevaluate, look for some, hopefully some rookies appear. I'm really hoping this Essendon Zach Johnson kid comes out, plays the whole game, doesn't get subbed. And then I think he'll be the one that we'll just have to get next week. I think he'll be the one we just have to get. As for so Ranger, your team is, hopefully that helped a little bit, Jack. hopefully you have just, I hope you don't like fall when you do the math $500 short as I normally do. When I'm like, I've got this awesome trade. Oh, look, I'm $500 short of doing it. So sometimes, yeah, that can be pretty frustrating. Looks like the footy's not far off too, crew. So I don't know, Ranger, you might be the last one for the team. The team, I don't want to call it advice. Don't know exactly know what I give as advice. We'll call it team chat. Here we go. Here's your team. You have one spare trade and 182k in the bank. You mean you've already made 2 trades this week? That's what you're saying? I don't think I can see your trades until we actually start. Team chat, perfect, yes. Yeah, I do. Anyone watching, please take any advice I give as with a pinch of salt. Like, I'm not an expert. I watch as much footy as I can. I don't watch every game. I do what I can. I'm more of a stats guy. I look at the stats after the game and I analyse the stats a lot through Fan Footy or DFS or those type of things. I just don't have the time to watch every game, unfortunately, or I don't have Kako or whatever. Or, not Kako. Kako. Now I've confused myself. Kako. I think I need to give myself in English. The streaming channel that shows the footy. It's not Kako. It's KO. That's it. And again. Yeah, I don't have KO to watch every game. Watch the Peddler. Don't bring in Peddler until you see the team sheets tomorrow. Just wait. He could very likely be the sub. So you can still do that trade. Just don't do the Peddler part of it until you see if he's a sub. Like, hopefully you don't have anything on Friday night. You can be a boring person like myself, where actually I'll be at work, but I'll still have time to check it. And quickly check the team sheets without 30 minutes before the game, up to an hour. They say an hour, but it's usually less. Speaking of which, who's tonight's sub? And just check if Peddler isn't named the sub, you can go there. If he is, then you don't do that trade. So, ooh, this is interesting. The man that a lot of people got in after you got like 250s in a row. Oh, just Dolan. I have to do something, crew. I have to do something in one of my other leagues. I'm sorry. I bought this guy into my team, and I play both. I play AFL Fantasy as well, and I got in Dolan. So we need to fix this. Yes, I'd like to roll back my team, and we would. Sorry about this. I know this is not Supercoach, but we just have to get this done. Otherwise, before the game starts. Actually, we don't need to get it done before the game starts. I can do it afterwards, just as long as I don't have anybody in this game. Bulldogs and what is it? Bulldogs and Hawks. Oh, maybe Huswaite I might have been getting rid of from that team. No, I don't have Huswaite. So Bulldogs and Hawks. I'll just put the people on the field that need to be on the field, and then I'll make some trades afterwards. I'll make some trades after the stream. I play all the versions. I do like Supercoach the best though. I feel like Supercoach is more reflective of real football, whereas that one we just looked at, the that form of fantasy football is basically just straight up possessions. There's no penalty. You could kick the ball 40 times and straight to the opposition 40 times and you get a big score. Whereas Supercoach, if you do that, you're going to get yourself a 50. Roberts and Ashcroft out. Rosie in and Peddler in. Yeah, just be worried about Peddler. And I don't think you need... You're getting rid of Roberts? Oh, did I accidentally kill it? Did I? Sorry. Leagues, rivalries. Did I make? I didn't. Let's try it again. Set up rivalry. Gilson. Add. All right, cool. Now we've got you added. Yeah. You're getting rid of, you really want to get... Roberts will be back next week, though, Ranger. I don't know if I love getting rid of Roberts either. The Roberts will be back next... It just says illness, you know. He's got a bit of the snivels or something, buddy. So maybe Roberts is not the way to go. Let me see if I... You've already got Clark. Did you say how much money? You probably told me. You got 182 in the bank. You've already got Clark last week. You already went early on Clark. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Looks like you might just get 18 if Alan is named. Gray's, yeah, Gray hurt you too. 180k. I mean, who are you getting for Roberts, did you say? Rosie. Okay, I guess that's fair. It's an upgrade. I'm still a little bit dubious on Rosie. He is named in the centre this week. If he goes back into that centre role, he might be tagged again. He can still smash out 150s in that centre role. He's a great player. In the back line, he's a little bit more consistent, and he's not going to get tagged though. But if you have to go Roberts to someone in the back line, I guess that's fair. I guess that is at least he's played his buys. You have a lot of... I wouldn't be going Caldwell for you. You have a lot of Brisbane, GWS. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gold Coast. 1, 2, 3. Geelong. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a lot for that, and you got Cameron. So I wouldn't be getting Caldwell for you, buddy, just because of your round 16 buys. You're going to have this same issue in round 16. It might even be worse for you in round 16. So Rosie, if you have to go there, yes, I can understand. Otherwise, yeah, it's a bit rough. I mean, if Pedler was named on the field tomorrow, maybe that's the way you could go. You could get, I don't know, maybe drop Husway. You're not making much money, but Ed Allen, you have to keep an eye out whether he's going to be named too. But maybe drop Houseweight, move a McRae or a Daniel up there and get the Pedler down there. If he's named, not as the sub. Otherwise, yeah, I'd hopefully just try and wait for the teams tomorrow. Check, count your green ticks. If you've got 18, just ride with 18, buddy. Just make this your crap around, and then if Pedler's not, you know, if you got 17, then you might have to do, you know, then you might have to do the Roberts move, unless you really want Rosie. If you really want Rosie and you think he's going to score better and it doesn't hurt you, I mean, there's no real problems for getting him. You know, you can do that. If that's the way you get 18 players on the field, then I totally understand that you do that. I mean, it's not going to, you know, be the worst thing ever to get Roberts off than Rosie on. You assume Rosie outscores Roberts for the rest of the season, plus he offers you some DPP dependability action. So I can understand it. I think for you, hopefully you're around when the team sheets are called out tomorrow. When the coach gets out and calls the team sheets, count your green ticks. If you've got 18, maybe just ride maybe just ride the wave and pray that everything works out. If you've got 17, do the Roberts to Rose E trade. The 180 doesn't get you much else besides on top of him, really, does it? You don't really want to get rid of Ned Long until he's by. Should be able to scrape 18. I think with the lack of dependable rookies, I'd try and, if you've got 18, you know, I know it's rough, and one of your rookies, I mean, could be subbed or he could shit the bed, but there's, you know, at least you've got 18 on the field. That's a really Gross worth trading out. I don't know, I traded him in and used a boost to get it a couple of weeks ago, Elliot, so it doesn't look like he's going to play again for a while. I could understand if you do, like me. It's one of my big grumpy Sean moments. Is for me too. I used a boost to get him in because he was named on the field, and then he was named on the field in the centre, and then they played him as a small forward, and he got 8 points and they dropped him. So to say Seano was furious that round, wasting a boost and getting in a non-playing rookie who got me like an 8. I mean, the thing is, you're not making any money, right? I'm looking at it this way. If I'm buying in a rookie, it's for 2 reasons. One is most important reason to get a rookie in is to make money. Not only do I want him to play for a few weeks, or, you know, I also would like to cash some money with the amount of trades that I have anyway to try and do an upgrade as well. So the fact that Tom Gross has DPP kind of saves him in my team. I've still got Kako and I've got Tom Gross, and they're allowing me to do loopholes between these two. You know, I can put Tom Gross up there and get a loophole here, but I've already got, you know, him is not playing, and Kako can come down here and cover for me as well. So for me, it's fine to keep him, depending on like who you trade him out for. Again, if it was like Pedler, you're only making 17k. So if it was Pedler, I think I'd probably just hold on to him and just pray that he comes back somehow. He destroys it in the waffle and comes back. I'd even prefer you, before doing that, I'd prefer you to pay up for and get maybe Simpson, pay the extra 7 or 8k and get Simpson off the field if you're just looking to get a dead rookie gone. All of us got Gray, right? All of us went and got Gray. I'm really worried that Carroll's going to be dropped too. I'm very, very worried that Carroll's going to be dropped. It's going to be another disaster. Last week was supposed to be my good round and it was a disaster. Maybe this round is going to be a real disaster. Maybe we're going to start seeing the real disasters now. Here's Seano saying, yeah, I'm pretty good in the buys. Everything's going to be fine. I don't have many players out. Boom. Kicked in the family jewels by the coaches. Alright, looks like the game is very close to starting, crew. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. Probably put out my trade video and, my room review video, team review video on Tuesday due to the long weekend you guys have over there in the eastern states. Then there'll be a trade video, and then we'll do some more live videos. Again, if you want to drop by and show me your team again during those live videos, we'll have a chat, which is great. Thank you for everyone for did that today. Ranger, thank you everyone for being here. Ranger, Elliot, Vral, or Viral as we should call you. Angela, thanks very much, and thanks for all the compliments. You made me blush, which is hilarious. Jack, thank you, Jack. Jack Smith, thank you, Paris. Good luck this week, Paris, with your team. I hope you go move up from your rank 69. Nicholas and Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. Coxie, hey Coxie, sorry, did I miss you all together, Coxie? I'm so sorry, mate. I was too busy concentrating on other people's teams, I guess, and I missed you completely. Don't like it when I miss people in chat. Bont, Dacos and Butters. Oh no, we did get you. We did answer that question. So best trade out Cleary, Huswaite, Marriage for Bont, Sid and McCarthy. I don't know about Sid. I don't think Sid's been dropped. So if you're talking about Sid Draper there, I think he's been dropped. So don't do that. Find another way to get there if you can. Don't do McCarthy either. McCarthy's not playing. So both Sid and McCarthy, don't do that, Coxie, don't do that. Get rid of Cleary and Huswaite, fine, but don't be bringing in Sid and McCarthy. You're basically getting rid of 2 dodgy rookies for 2 other dodgy rookies. You don't be doing that. Who else do we have here? Anybody else? Did I miss anyone? I don't like to miss anybody. Cos Monumenti. Yep, tried your name. We'll get one more of these for the road then. One more of these. Alright, thank you so much everybody for watching. Enjoy the footy tonight. I don't know who you guys are going for. I basically don't care. I'm going for the Bont. I'm going for Bont and Bailey Dale. That's who I'm going for tonight. So I guess that means I'm going for the Western Bulldogs because I've got no Hawthorn players. We'll go for the Bulldogs. And yeah, have any VC or captains. 100% if you've got Sherry, he needs to be your VC or your captain. I will be doing this. Sherry into Gawn. Sherry plays Flynn. He scored 150 against him at the same ground over here in the pre-season matches. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores 150 plus again. If for some reason that fails and it's a disaster, I'm going to Gawn. If you went Bont this week and you don't have this option, I think this is the safest option. The second safest option is if you have Bont or you've gone out and get Bont, I'd say vice Bont into Sherry tonight. And then besides that, anyone into one of these. If you don't have Sherry, a vice into Gawn. Just stick with the 2 big boys. If you don't have the 2 big boy rucks, yeah, probably a bit rough. But tonight's game with the Bulldogs, you know, Libba or Ed Richards could be an option. I wouldn't be going anyone from Hawthorn. Then for the next couple of games, I think all your big primos like Adelaide versus Brisbane, you could have your vice captain. Like, you can vice captain pretty much any of your big midfielders that you have. Whoever's getting you the best average, even a Bailey Smith. Where's Bailey Smith play on Saturday? Into one of the rucks. So, I mean, sometimes it's better just not to think about it too much. Bailey Smith has the highest average. He's playing Gold Coast Suns. Chuck the vice on him into a Gawn or to Sherry. You can do, if you've got, you know, who's my next? Bont is averaging 129, so maybe I could vice into him if I didn't have the 2 of these fellas. Sometimes I find it's just the easiest way to do it like that. Don't think about it too much, and whatever the average is, you know, the predictions predict Bont's going to get 128. They predict, so I'm doing exactly what the predictions telling me. Predictions telling me that Gawn's going to get 143 and Sherry's going to get 170. I never believe the predictions, but that's what it's telling me. So I think that's probably the, if that gives you a little bit of help. Any of your big gun midfielders as a vice captain into one of these two rucks as your captain. If you don't have either of those rucks, just try and go, hopefully go for, you know, 2 of your big midfielders. The back line dudes just don't seem to be performing at the moment. I'd just go, you know, pick your Bonts and, you know, have a go at your Dacoses and stuff. Or I think Bailey Smith seems reasonably, I won't say safe. No one's been safe this season except for the 2 big guys, but, you know, I think he's a reasonably safe vice captain into someone else if you don't have the Gawn and the Sherry. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ranger. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate the support. If you're still here and you want to give me the thumbs up, the like, and subscribe, and the other thing, leave a comment down below. Yeah, I really appreciate all the support I'm getting. The videos are starting to get quite a lot of views. Like, I think the ones I did this week's got like 300 views. So, yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for all the support. And I will probably see you during my review video. All right, everyone, enjoy the footy, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Have a good one.